Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I updated my bird Kiwi's play stand from this to this using all natural perches except for one, and how I decorated with new toys. First thing I did was I took off all the toys, and most of her toys are on there with zip ties, which are bird safe. So that's what I just did, just took them all off. Where I got most of my perches from would have to be, I would say, from bird expos that I go to throughout the year. If you don't have any expos where you live or around where you live, you can also order them online. I'm a little bit picky, and I kind of wanted specific shapes or specific branches to add onto her play stand. And I actually got the idea from a play stand that I saw at one of these expos, and it was a beautiful big play stand, but it cost, I believe it was $250, and it wasn't too much bigger than this, but it was all natural. And I was like, okay, well, I already have a play stand for her at home, and that cost me $50 to make, me and my husband. And I bought, I think, 4 or 5 branches, and I paid $2 for them. So it would end up being $60 in total. And I just rearranged her toys back and forth, so I didn't have to buy any new toys for it. But it's super simple, and like I said, I have a previous video on how I did this specific play stand, and I'll link that down below if you guys are interested in watching step by step on how to actually build the play stand. The next thing I did was I took off all the original dowel perches, and I just screwed those off. And like I said, if you're interested in seeing how I built it the first time around, then you guys can go ahead and look at the video, and I'll have that link down below. But here I'm showing you how the perches usually come, I should say. So I just take off all the pieces, and the size of this actual branch, it was bigger than the hole that I originally had in the stand. So all I did was I just grabbed my drill and I moved it around in little circles, try to make it a little bit bigger. You want it to fit kind of tight. You don't want it to be too loose, especially if your bird's a little bit heavier, like an African gray, if you're going to build one for your bird, or even if you have like an Indian ringneck. You want to make sure that the perch isn't going to budge when they're, jumping back and forth between them. But all I did was just basically turned it. And like I said, I bought a bunch of different kinds of woods. I bought a bunch of different size perches just because, it's always better for your bird to have different sizes where they put their feet, because it can prevent arthritis for them in the future. As a really quick disclaimer in this video, if you do go back and watch the original video of how I made this play stand, a lot of people seem to have an opinion about the fact that I stained the bottom part of, like to catch all the mess. I did stain that part. However, I don't leave Kiwi alone. She is always under supervision when she's out of her cage, and she never goes to the bottom, and she doesn't really chew on it. So, if your bird is Kiwi flies, so she can fly back and forth between the perches. She doesn't need to be walking on the floor or anything. So she never goes down there. But if your bird has clipped wings, or if it likes to be on the floor, or you're even worried about the fact that, it can get poisoned, which I totally understand. But like I said, Kiwi is always under supervision. There's always, me or my husband, we're always watching her if she's out. But if that's a problem, then just skip the step. You don't have to stain it. I just wanted to stain it because I wanted it to match the rest of my living room. But you don't have to do it. That's an option. Or if you feel that if you leave your birds unattended, then obviously there's more risk of them getting into trouble. But if you don't want to stain it, or you feel you're scared that it might poison your bird, then just skip the step. Okay, this is what the play stand ended up looking like, and I do want to add more perches later on, but for now this is what I got. And I only left that one in the back there just because it looked like it was empty space, so I just added it to it. But this is pretty much it. Now let's decorate. Now, like I said earlier, I use zip ties to hold her toys in place. It's just easier to get them on and off, I feel, and zip ties, you can get them at the dollar store, and you can get 100 plus at the dollar store. But this is what I got. And this little orbital here, I get some questions about that sometimes. I make those and I sell those on my Etsy shop, and I'll have the link down below. And I also make this hanging ladder, and that's also there. If you purchase anything in the month of January 2015, you can get a 30% off discount, and I will have that discount code down below. If you have any questions about the materials or anything, please don't hesitate to ask. But like this one, I actually tie it um onto the Perches. It's made out of twine, so it's really easy to get the knots on and off of it. Also, if you have Instagram, go ahead and follow Kiwi, and I'll have her Instagram down below. I'm gonna try to do a discount a month, different discounts throughout the month, and I will post all the discounts and all the information on her Instagram. And again, that will be down below if you guys are interested. Also, if you guys make any of the toys that I have in any of my videos here on my channel, bird related, you guys can also please go ahead and tag Kiwi's account. We love to see what you guys create. Everyone always has a different twist on what they make, and I would love to see everyone's ideas. Just like kids, birds are different. They like different things. Kiwi loves the little paper wheels. I think they're called bangles, actually. So I just put a little bit of those, a few of those on one of the stands that she can take off and play with. Now this little ball I found at a local expo, and she likes that too because she can bite onto it, and I hang toys from it and stuff like that all the time. They have those little purple balls in the dog section at any pet store usually, and they have them in different sizes and different shapes, so depending on the size of your bird, you can get them to fit. And I also add stuff to the actual Purchase that she can play with and move back and forth, and like I said, she really likes the paper wheels, or that's what I call them anyway. And so she can't get them off, so it's kind of like a game for her, I guess. But you can always add those to the Purchase also. And Kiwi loves these little balls with the bells or beads inside of them. As you can see, she has one on her orbital, and she also gets one attached to the play stand. I've always had one attached to the play stand since I've built it, and she loves it. And it moves around, so she spins with it sometimes. She's done flips with it. She gets on top of it and tries to get to the beads. So it just depends on what your bird likes is what I would suggest putting on the play stand. And I guess I'm going to give you guys a few tips and tricks also with this updated play stand video. But those little links are awesome, and you buy those at any baby store, or even in the baby section at Target or Walmart, or your local store, I guess. And they're super cheap. I think I got like 24, 25 of them, and I think it cost me $4, and I get them at this place called Bye Bye Baby here in Florida, and they usually give out 20% off coupons, so I think I ended up paying like $2 something, $3 for them. They're awesome also to make like a little chain if you have a smaller size bird that they can play on, like a little bridge, I would say, I guess. You can hang toys from it. That's what I do. I attach them to certain parts of her cage, and I put the little paper wheels that she loves so much on there, and that way it kind of keeps it in place. But I mean, that's something simple and cheap that you can get for your bird that could add a lot of, entertainment for them throughout the day. Oh, like this, I'm showing you here. I'm just attaching them to it. And then I like I said earlier when I showed you guys the first time, I attach them to the ball because it has holes in it, and stuff fits in there really well, and it just adds like an extra something to the play stand for them. As you can see, Kiwi is losing her mind in her cage, trying to get to her play stand, trying to get to me. She wants to see what's going on. She's very curious, and she just did a little flip. But after you've set everything up, you want to go ahead and cut any extra zip tie, that you have left over, and you want to make sure that it's not sharp. And if it is sharp, then go ahead and just flip it upside down to where the bird can't really get to it. Another thing you can do is maybe file it down with a nail file and make it smooth. That also works if you're worried at all about it. And I also attached this little net that I got from also a local bird store, but they do sell those um, on Etsy, and I will link the shop down below. And I think it's like $35 or something like that, and it has a bunch of toys on it. And I just connect that from her cage to her play stand as a like little bridge, so she can go back and forth if she feels like it. Here's just a little clip of Kiwi exploring her new play stand. She really seems to enjoy it. I did change some toys around from the previous clips. Just like I said, I change stuff up all the time, and I found better places for certain things. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Also, like I said earlier, if you guys recreate any of my DIYs, please make sure to tag me or Kiwi, or you can also email me and I'll have the links down below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the original video when I actually started and finished building the actual play stand. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.